Hey everybody, this is Alexander Fitzgerald, or Assassinato, back for another video for Card Runners. This has been my series about using different parts of the HUD, different HUD statistics that you can get on any statistics tracking program, what they all mean, combining them to make some reads that look really sick but are actually pretty logical if you can just sift through the numbers. In the last couple of videos, by the way, if you want to get a copy of my HUD, you can write us at assassinatocoaching@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and send it right out to you. Or, I'll tell you what all the names of these HUD statistics are, and you can just put them on yourself in any tracking program you have. Obviously, this only works for Hold'em Manager, so if you have Poker Tracker, you're going to have to do something like that. We've gone through the pop-ups and all the primary statistics here. The one thing I forgot to say, I don't use the pop-ups as much here because you can kind of, it's a lot of stuff like fold to c-bet is all there, c-bet is there. You do want to use it for the raise c-bet, and we talked about this like ad nauseum in the previous videos. Essentially, if the person is raising like 20-25% of the time or more, you usually don't hit a hand big enough to like blow up the pot one time out of 4, one time out of 5. So you should be a little suspicious. If it's a little closer to 10%, one time out of 10, it's not as suspicious. But like a lot of these stats are, you can find like on other pop-ups. Like I have check raise up there. But like the one that's really interesting is fold c-bet to raise. There are some guys who just can't fold. Like if you raise their c-bet, they just get pissed. And this is something people are really imbalanced at. Like they don't really think about what they should be defending. You would be surprised how many guys, like you would consider like super aggressive players, that if you watch their training videos here at Card Runners, the guy raises and they can't establish a raising range. Actually, a really recent example was Ape Styles videos, the 200R here on Card Runners. He has one hand where he goes, I don't know what this guy's raising range could be. I don't know why he has a raising range in this situation, but he doesn't go after it because he doesn't know what it is. And he's assuming a lot of the times it's a hand. But just because he can't interpret it doesn't mean he automatically has to go back at it. He needs to. There's a lot of people who, Ape Styles, if you watch some of his other videos, you'll notice he really goes back at some bets. I've seen him like 4-bet bluffs, like turns and stuff like that. There's other times he just lets it go and it's based more on the particular situation. There's a lot of guys that don't do it based on any particular situation. They just really don't like folding their c-bets, and they really just don't care. They c-bet, they're playing too many tables, and they fold. So you need to know what you're dealing with. If you see a guy who folds his c-bets like 60, 65%, 70% of the time, that's a great guy to flatten position, especially if you see the blinds are folding a lot, which you can do with my HUD by quickly eyeballing these numbers. And by the way, if this sounds like a lot to keep track of in a typical hand, it's really hard for me too. The only reason I get better at it every day is just by going one thing a day. Go by one statistic a day that you want to go over. And the really important ones here, again, fold c-bet to raise. And that's really good because, like, let's say you flop like a set on a dry board. I can't tell you how many times I see a guy, like the board comes like, let's say King 3-4 Rainbow. They have a set of threes. And I see them just like flat. But the guy's like turn double barrel, which would be here. That's turn continuation bet, is like nothing. And when they flat on that board, they have a pair. They have something. However, if you raise, your range is really polarized, and most people would never raise a set on that board because it's just so dry and you can't really have anything. That's a great time to fast play if this person folds c-bet to raise is really low because they're just going to 3-bet you every time. And you can flat, or you can do so, or they're going to flat you with like 6s on that board and call down.